Sambell founded SpicyWeb in 2009, an online marketing company that lives and breathes the web. You want to hear about Tony's entrepreneurial journey and how he manages to sustain and grow the business? You have the chance, listen to this business talk. Hi Tony, thank you for being my guest in this business talk.
My pleasure, thank you.
So Tony, to manage and run a marketing business, what professional background do you have to have?
Do you have to have?
Or
do I have? Because they're two very different
yes.
things. Because this is the amazing thing about the industry I'm in. When it comes to digital marketing, there is courses now, but the courses are not going to give you what you need to do. This isn't like a trade course or anything like that. It is very self-taught. It is such an agile and fast-moving industry that everything you learn before that is almost redundant by the time you get out. And the interesting thing about my story is I started straight out of school. So I didn't have like a marketing degree and work at some corporate and then jumped into starting my own business. So what do you have to have? Well, I don't think there's any prerequisites, but you certainly have to have the right attitude and energy and passion to be able to get your business to a successful level. If you're driven by those overarching qualities, then the rest of it will flow. Because if you want to help a business grow and do well, then you're going to need to know your stuff, aren't you? And then you're going to be passionately driven to figure out all your stuff as quickly as possible. So I think they're the overarching things you need to have.
So back in 2009 when you founded SpicyWeb,
Yep.
What was the motivation for you to go independent?
I would say the catalyst was literally because of the global financial crisis. I couldn't get a job. Okay,
Right.
So it's not a beautiful story. Like I saw a need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd come to the realization I'd been doing this since I was 12 years old already. I have never ever had a job in my life. I've never received a paycheck. When I was 15, I remember I waited to turn 15 so I could go apply for an ABN, so I could start invoicing people because I knew I could charge more if I'm invoicing versus cash. So like that was my sort of mentality, is that to make money, I always found out ways to make money and it was never getting a job. So I've been building websites since I was 12 years old. So I paid for my car, I paid for my uni books, all that sort of stuff. I never realized it till about 6 months after graduating, because I kept trying to get a job. Got to get a job. That's what you do, right? You go get a job. Couldn't get a job. And I sort of realized, well, I'm already got a job. I just got to take it seriously. And then I walked down the main street of Frankston here and got 3 clients straight away and never looked back.
That's brilliant. And for how long were you working on your own by yourself?
Yeah, so I did 4 years by myself. Okay, so it went from, like I said, those first 3 jobs to when I was booked out 3 months in advance. Okay, so I never dreamed to build a company. I never dreamed to build a team or anything like that. It was just doing what felt right initially. And I think that's how a lot of people start, okay? There's always a catalyst. Like mine was just I needed money. Others was they hate their job, you know what I mean? But eventually things develop into a point. Like I don't feel like you need a strategy at the start, but at the end you bloody well do.
That's an interesting point. Why at the later stage do you need a strategy? And not right from the start?
Because you start to be responsible for more than yourself. Okay, the second you're responsible for more than yourself, then winging it becomes selfish and silly. Okay, so and this is something I like to tell people when I'm like mentoring them on like running your own business, is sometimes people you're going to be insecure. Okay, when you're running your own business, it's terrifying because to be fair, no idea what you're doing, and you think everyone else knows what they're doing, but they don't know what they're doing. It's just that they got a better poker face than you. Everyone has no freaking clue what they're doing except for how to do the task, but no one knows what they're doing as far as running a business. Okay, yeah. 2 very different things. You can be great at your job, can suck at a business. But the second you're responsible for others, and that can mean like family, not just not just employees. Okay, the second you're responsible for others, you need to start to strategize. But more importantly, when you have a team. Okay, the second you have other people's lives in your hands, you can't just be winging it. You have to start planning where you want to be, and you also become a bigger ship. Okay, you make the wrong move in a jet ski, okay, out in the bay, it's really pretty easy to fix it. You know, oh, I'm going the wrong way, bam, done, fixed. You make the wrong move in a tanker, it takes forever to stop, takes forever to turn it, okay? And your business is slowly, without you noticing, becoming a bigger and bigger boat. And if you don't strategize, as in plan where you want that boat to go, by the time you figure out you're in the wrong direction, it's too late to turn around.
So in 2003, was it then when you
Yeah,
actually...
so it'd be that... no, it'd be 2013.
2013,
yeah, missing a one. So 2013, about 4 years in, booked out for 3 months in advance, okay, consistently. And I went, well, I'm making good money, things are going well, but it's just me, okay? And I went, well, you know what, I'm going to bring people on board. And it was around that time of thinking that I happened by chance to bump into a young guy that I actually had met before. He was freelancing for a colleague in town. And just straight away I went, do you want to come? I said contract for me, initially, because you can't, as if you're going to hire someone straight away, that's responsibility. So I said, you want to come contract for me, maybe 1 day a week? And I think within weeks he was doing a few days a week. It did not take long, because I started to understand that other people have their skills. So I was a designer. It was hilarious because I always referred to myself as we and us and stuff like that in my emails. Oh, the accounts department. So it's weird. I never planned to be big, but I still spoke that way. The fake it till you make it. So I was a designer, the coder, the marketer. I was doing everything for my clients. But they're micro business, so it worked well. So I hired a designer first, and then he took over all the design, and I would just build it. And that went extremely well. So it was not long after that, then we moved into an office as well.
And now the company.
Yes.
What is the services that you offer?
So after I started getting a team, it was from advice I received. So this is where sometimes advice really helps. But we were just doing websites. Okay. Maybe a little bit of marketing. And we're just doing websites, and that's project. So you literally, you're always fighting for your next meal, aren't you? So I suddenly had rent and wages and all this other stuff to worry about, and I was like, you got to get reoccurring income, and you got to basically, the plan was over the next 2 years, I wanted to get my reoccurring income to cover all our overheads, so that any other money was on top. So websites would, it's projects. So we said that website projects must be the cream on the cake. Okay, the cake itself is covered by reoccurring. So that was the goal, was to build up reoccurring income, so that if we never got a project for 3 months, we'd be fine. Okay. And so then we obviously kept growing the web department, and we hired a coder and started doing that all smoother and better. But we also started growing the marketing department, which is primarily Google Ads. And now we've got Google Ads, SEO, and like social media.
And I understand that you have not a lot of customers, you keep it small, you have your niche.
We're doing like small business websites and small business marketing, and we had a few outliers, okay, like people that were paying 300% more than everyone else, and we're doing really well with it, and we really enjoyed it, and it was satisfying. And we realized that, well, one of them is 5 of these, so we once again, you only have to find one more deal, you only have to look after 5 people instead of 50 people, that sort of stuff. So we felt we could deliver better quality because of the lack of admin, you know what I mean? Like it's just, there's a certain amount of time in that. And that's what we're driven by. We're very just want to do things good. Our little motto is doing good for good people. So we also want to be picky about who we work with. If they're industries or types of people that aren't good, and you can refer to good in your own way, we don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do when you rely on volume, because you can't pick and choose your clients, because you need as many as possible. So that's where we shifted the market. Well, I actually believe there's probably more money in small business because there's more of them. If you stuff up, one goes away, it doesn't affect you. Where if you rely on 10 clients and you lose one, it's a big deal.
Yes, yeah.
But because we're so driven by quality, it's not really an issue for us.
It's good to hear. How much does it help for you using a B2B network to find other clients or to find other companies that help you out with any need that you have?
I would say that is, as we've evolved, become the almost only way to get business. Okay, this sort of like referral marketing or B2B or BDM sort of style finding of work is the strongest way to get work especially if you're a good person, and usually that's where it works, because you match like-minded people.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just after the, I call it the triple win. The client wins, you win, they win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't do everything, and digital marketing is huge, and marketing is even bigger, and business services is even bigger. Okay. So if you think that you don't need anyone else to look after your client, then you're being a bit arrogant there. Yeah.
This is a good point where I'd like to ask you a question about being a company complementer, but also using company complementers.
Yeah.
Companies that add values to your products and services. Are you currently using other companies that add value to your products and services?
Yeah. For example, almost every website needs photography done. Okay, videography, copywriting. We don't do them in-house because you can't be a jack of all trades because you're a master of none.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our select services. So finding those that match our values. Okay. That and also match the clients. So we don't like just to usually just almost find one, actually. Well, it's good to find at least someone of each thing that you feel you can complementary work with each other.
Yeah.
I actually like to get a few because if they're smart people, like let's say a photographer, okay? While it's good to get a really good photographer that's a good guy, if you're lucky enough to find 3, chances are one actually really prefers to do people, one does food and beverage. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's not about creating these like business partnerships, where you're all going to go after bigger business together. It's actually just about helping businesses in general by not letting them have to go do all this legwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you're really good, matching the client to the right person.
It's great. Understanding that you have operating your business since 2009, you acquired a lot of experience as an entrepreneur, as a manager of a lot of staff.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge over the time to sustain a business?
Like I said earlier, like you kind of have that no clue what you're doing, okay? And you start and you're totally self-motivated when you're an entrepreneur. You got no one to motivate you. And I think this is why you get these business coach industry, which is the fastest growing industry in America, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you ask, it is the biggest booming industry, and it's because, you just, so many people feel like they need help, okay? The biggest thing I learned along the way is you do need help, okay? But there's a difference between someone that's going to help you and someone that's going to sell to you, okay?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to remember that no matter how much experience he has in business, legal, HR, whatever it is, okay? He doesn't have your gut, okay? Your gut instinct for what feels right. Because whether or not you can vocalize it, you have a reason why you're running this business, okay? And we can't usually say it, all right? So if it doesn't feel right, you shouldn't be taking on that advice. And we feel pressured to take on all the advice we're given because we're paying them money, right?
Yeah.
Paying money, I should do all the things he told me to.
Yeah.
I have a rule when I mentor people, just take 10%. Do 10% of what I say, the best 10% that feels right, and implement it. Because first of all, you'll be in a better place than where you were. Because if it feels right, it'll work, okay? And the other thing is, if you're trying to 100%, you'll be overwhelmed and you won't do any of it. Or if you try and implement something that doesn't feel right, you're going to do it begrudgingly and it won't work out.
Yeah.
So it's that sense of like trying to always, dealing with your own demons of I don't know everything, but no one does.
Yeah.
But you need to trust that you are the only one that will make the right decision. So take as much advice as you like, take as much as possible, okay? But only implement what you decide you want to implement. Don't implement what other people tell you to.
Now, another question I have in regards to your experience as an entrepreneur, what were the most exciting moments that you had, that you experienced?
I had a few. There's nothing more rewarding than when you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Okay, so like 9 years ago, I looked like I was 12 years old, running a business in my spare room, making $0. I think I made you charge $900 for a website and you'd spend 3 months on it and you think you're making a killing. So it was there to where I am now. So last year was a big year for me. Okay. So my long-term personal goals, because you got business achievements you want to reach, but I had personal goals. A while ago, someone made me write, what does the future look like in 5 years? So that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went, so I wrote it down. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to wait 5 years for that.
Yeah.
So I went, this is what I want to do. So I was living in suburbia. I grew up in country Queensland. So I wanted to get back on a property. I wanted to wake up on a property. I wanted to be managing an awesome team and doing projects that were interesting and made me happy and were fun, and everyone's working together on them, not siloed and begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Because we always find that we're always doing these begrudgingly tasks. And I also had always wanted to travel. I'd never been overseas, and I wanted to go to the Google, they call it Google Marketing Live, but I've known about it for years as this invite-only event that only select people get to go to. So last year we hit everything, and I realized that this is what feels right. This is what success is. We have so many more achievements we have to reach, but when you're doing the work you love with the people you love in the place you love, and you've reached milestones like that, we're all right, and you don't have to be always driving. Because I never wanted to be a millionaire. I just wanted to bloody pay the bills.
Yeah.
When I started it. So it's very, it was never a financial goal. While we have financial goals, it was never driven by that. So it was more personal goal.
Well,
Yeah.
that's another really good advice. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
That's all right. My
We
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Tony is a member of our Business Hub. If you want to hear more about his experience, get in touch with him on proactivehub.com. This was another talk provided by Proactive Hub. Thank you for watching. My name is Silvano.